What's going on, guys? Besides here, and today we're gonna make a patch no tier list for 2507 at the moment, current tier list. So we will see what champions are the best in this meta. Let's get right into it. Um, First, we're gonna go with Xayah. Xayah is just a counter pick. Typically, you pick this champion when there is a lot of assassins or when you get a lot of value with the ultimate. I think that if you pick her in the right draft, she's amazing. She's probably like, actually not amazing. She's probably like high B tier, like the best champion B tier. I don't think she's particularly good right now. But if you pick her into a lot of assassins, she might have value, especially in high Mars. If you're low elo, I will show you better champions that you can play and have more success. I don't recommend Xayah in low elo, but if you're Diamond Plus, I do recommend her. She's quite good. Karthus, I would say that he's a low A tier or mid A tier. I think he's in the same boat with other AP carries. He has great wave clear, and if you want to play like a very AP champion kind of thing, you could play this champ. I just think that he's a bit of like one trick pony champ. He's kind of in the same boat with Draven. So I do personally think Karthus is for Diamond Plus, and yeah, it's just for one trick pony mostly. And it is the same boat with Ziggs, so I'll put Ziggs as well here. Great wave clear. I think Ziggs is slightly better than Karthus at the moment. I believe he got some changes like a few patches ago, but it's still like quite decent. So now let's go to the real AD carry. So we have Ashe. I think Ashe right now she's really good. Obviously, she got the R ultimate a bit changed, like a bit nerf. I do think she's still A tier. I think she's fine. I think she's good. I mean, I wouldn't pick her as a blind pick. She is not a bad blind pick in low MMR. But if you have other champions in the pool, there are a lot of other better blind picks. People that actually watch me, I always say Ashe is the worst blind pick out of the best blind picks. So she's not the worst blind pick. Obviously, she's a good blind pick. It's just she can't be comparable to Varrus. She can't be comparable with an Ezreal. She can't be comparable with the Miss Fortune. I feel like these champions are just better blind picks overall. Um, so yeah, that's just my take on it. Caitlyn, because if you pick Ashe, people say it's blind pick, but then yeah, you can just get you get a Khalid on top lane, a Mesa on mid lane. They just pick Diana, and they just get a Blitzcrank with a Draven, and yeah, Ashe is very blind pickable. Good luck, have fun. Now you have to play pixel perfect to survive in the game. So that's why I believe she's a good blind pick, just not the best. I think she's A tier. I recommend her a lot for low elo. I think she's one of the best champions to main in low elo. Ezreal right now, I think he's very close to Ashe. I don't know if I should push Ashe better than Ezreal. They both got a little bit of change. I think they're very close, very close. So I would honestly put them equal if I could. I think they're both like probably one of the best champs in A tier. So I think that Ezreal, he's a great champion to have in your pool for like Emerald Plus. I don't think that if you're Gold or Silver, probably not, because they're just he's very complex mechanically. And if you want to carry games on Ezreal, you have to hit a lot of Qs. You have to know how the E works really well. Have to have like micro spacing, like really a lot of things that you probably don't know if you're low elo. So I do prefer a champion pool with Ashe, and I would actually reveal other champions that are good for low elo pool. But if you're Emerald Plus, or if you believe you have great mechanics, because I see a lot of players, I see a lot of players in low elo. They have great mechanics. I can show you right now. I show you on the screen that I do coaching a lot for a lot of AD carries, and we see here people that were gold and they got to grandmaster after the coaching. We see people here that this guy was diamond 4 hard stack, he got to challenger, and so a lot of these people, they're actually quite smart about the game, and they know they have good mechanics, and they're stuck in gold and silver. This is why I believe coaching can help so much. If you want to get better, check out the coaching session. The description is going to be, it's so easy to improve with coaching session, because you're going to know your true mistakes. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of AD carries in low elo, they have great mechanics. It's just they're missing pieces of puzzle. And I know you're watching this video and you're saying, bro, I know a lot about the game, freezing, slow pushing, I know macro, like I know my champion, but I just simply can't win. I can't have an impact on AD carry. Then you should book a coaching session. You should do it, because you're missing a piece of the puzzle, and if you get that piece of the puzzle, your improvement is going to be much faster. So that, yeah, that's why I speak about Ezreal. If you have great mechanics and you're like gold, I mean, you shouldn't play him, but if you really like him, then sure, it's a good champ to main. Good spot. Draven, I think. I mean, I just completely hate Draven to play against Draven, because when I play against Grandmaster Challenger Draven, I did play against the best Draven in the world. I did play recently against Dealer Z in solo queue, the Challenger rank 1 Draven. So he's quite decent. Obviously, he's a really good player. But yeah, I think he's A tier. I wouldn't put him in S tier. But Draven is a champion that when you play Draven, you only play one champion, right? That's the way it goes. And you guys know me. Yeah, I will give you another example here of coaching this guy right here. Yeah, his name is Ivan. This guy was bronze 4, and he actually got coaching from other people, and everyone told him, bro, play one champ, play one champ, play one champ. And I saw his gameplay, and he didn't know cooldowns, he didn't know abilities, he didn't know how to play around his support, and he didn't know really what the other AD carries do very well. He knew the basic abilities, but he didn't know so much about like League of Legends fundamentals. And guess what I told him? I said, fuck it, bro, just forget everything that other people told you. I want you to play minimum 5 games of support per week, and 5 games of other AD carries per week, so you can actually expand your game knowledge. And when you play Caitlyn, you'll use this knowledge that you've acquired from playing other supports. Guess what? He took, I think, a year and a half, and he got from bronze 4 to platinum 1, which a lot of people would say, like, bro, he got coaching, he should be challenger. Like, yeah, okay, if you're thinking that the coaching is going to make you challenger, I mean, anyone that is going to say that to you is just going to be just not true. It's just a lie, right? But yeah, it's a good improvement. And be careful if you're playing only one champion, that you can't just play only one champion and improve. You have to. There are some people that got challenger like that, but most of them, in my experience with coaching over 3,000 players, it's not possible to play only one champion climb unless you do other specific things. Jhin, I think he's a little bit better than Ez, but not by much, and a little bit worse than Ashe. I honestly think it just depends on the draft. I mean, they're just so close to each other, I feel like, at the moment. Should you play Jhin and Owilo? I mean, he's a great champ. I think Ashe is just a better champion to learn fundamentals. From my experience coaching Jhin players, they are the worst players in the game. They don't know how to kite. They play low camera. I don't know. Every time when I coach Yuumi, Lulu, Jhin, um, they Twitch, like, they just don't have mechanics. They just don't move their camera. It's just everything. Every time is the same, um, right? It's just Jhin just develops bad patterns to you, in my opinion, from my experience at least. And I don't think you should make. He's a good champ. I mean, he's a very nice champ right now in the meta, but I wouldn't say he's going to help you to learn fundamentals. And Sivir is in the same boat, because I mean, a lot of people that I actually coach with Sivir, they push waves. Brand, like, they're like, oh, I have wave clear, I can push one more wave. They always stay on the side lane. They show me that their farm is 10 farm per minute, but they don't know when to group. They are not following their teammates. They're spending too much time on the side lane. I don't think she's a champion that is going to teach you fundamentals, and I think there are other champions to do that. And Jinx is one of the best to teach fundamentals. She's, at the moment, yeah, it's very close to. I don't know if I should put Jinx better than Ashe and Ashe better than Jhin. I think they're very close. I would put these three equal and Draven slightly better than these three. But I think Ezreal is also really close. So I think this is a very close one. But if I'm low elo, I would choose Jinx or Ashe. And if I'm Diamond 1 plus, um, then I think that Ashe is just a better champion overall. She just provides a lot of utility. But for low elo, Jinx, Ashe is such a great pool, I think, at the moment. So yeah, Jinx is, and she's also fine blind pick. I think Jinx blind pick is a bit better than Ashe blind picks, honestly, because at least you have the jumpers and you have really good hyper carry potential. Ashe, I mean, realistically speaking, you carry by using your ult. The damage is not that good, even with the new build with Yuntal. So let's take a look at the Kaisa. Kaisa, she's probably better than Draven at the moment. I think she's really good in the meta. She does have a lot of combos. Um, she does have a lot of combos that are very difficult. So there is that, and I'll show you a few. Yeah, I'll show you right now what I mean by that. Like, if you want to carry consistently on this champion, you have to know how to do a lot of things. Like, for example, if you want to evolve your Q, uh, you gotta make sure you know how to do like animation cancel and other stuff, which, if you know, that's good. Like, you guys probably know that you can do. Did you guys see that? I actually cancel with my E, or you can also do it with the B, like this. And I do it consistently, right? Because if you're just clicking on it and you're just waiting, I mean, you probably shouldn't play Kaisa. If you do that, you should be able to always ulti over the wall to like escape on the place. You should always be able to do the combo, the basic combo with the RW, like this one, like this, RW, Q, auto, and E. So you have to be good mechanically in order for you to like know what fights to approach. She's a back to front team fighter, so she's like really, really, really difficult champion to main. And if you don't really know, if you don't know these things, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you heard this combo but you don't do them, I mean, maybe you shouldn't play her. But yeah, I mean, who am I to say to you that you shouldn't play champion? She's very fun, I will be honest with you. It's just, if you can play Jinx or Ashe, I think these champions are just helping you so much to learn fundamentals, and they're easy and they don't have complex mechanics like with Kaisa. But yeah, that's just my opinion. MF, she's actually pretty good right now. I do think that, I mean, pretty good as in maybe best of B tier. I don't think she's better than Ashe. I don't think she's better than any of these champions from above, but she can be really good for low elo for learning. I could recommend her any day. I mean, she's also fine blind pick. She works with like engage supports. I think she's really, really good. Even into tanks, I mean, I feel like she's okay for low elo for sure. Yeah. Smolder, I mean, Smolder is definitely good. I did play against like a Grandmaster Challenger player, Smolder, and it was a bit painful, honestly. He played really well, and I feel like the champion is good. Um, if you know how to use him, I wouldn't say he's better than the champions in A, but I could probably put him in the best in B tier, honestly. He's not bad. For low elo, should you play Smolder? I mean, I think he's fine if you want like a scaling champion. He's pretty easy to play. Just has like a very, you know, simple kit in my opinion. So I think I could probably recommend maining Smolder after, you know, MF, Jinx, Ashe. If you completely hate these champions, you go for Smolder. Sure, why not? Kogmaw, I think Kogmo is not bad. I think he has like good damage. He's like, I did play also against like a Grandmaster former challenger player Kogmo, and he completely smashed. I think with Lulu is such a good pick. I don't know if he's S tier. The only problem is that I don't know if you can pick him reliably in low elo, because it has the same problem with Ashe, in which if they just pick a lot of like things that can just kill you, it might just be a little bit hard for you to pick Kogmo, especially because remember low elo, I think that people just don't peel you, right? So, I mean, I don't think he's a bad pick. I would put him like high B tier, maybe, like one of the best in B tier. I think it's really close. I don't think he's a bad pick at all. I just think that it's not realistic for you to pick it in solo queue. Maybe with a Lulu, maybe in high elo. Definitely, he's such a good pick if the enemies have no like assassins and stuff to kill you. I don't think he's a bad champ again, but I just don't think it's realistic that you will main Kogmo in low elo and expect that people that will peel you. Now you're just gonna have 20 deaths, and I would rather have you on Ashe that you can ulti and impact the game even if you have a hard game, hard time in the draft. But with Kogmo, if you die, you just have your passive. Other than that, you're pretty useless. So, and of course, if you play Kogmo AP, it's a bit different, but yeah, I would not recommend it. Nilah, a counter pick if they have lots of auto attackers, sure. If they don't have a lot of range, sure. If you have setup, sure. This is a good champion. I think I mean, I wouldn't recommend her to main really, but she teaches you some of the fundamentals like respecting your enemies, playing around their range, and waiting for the right time. She's kind of like Samira as well. These three champions are very counter pick. I wouldn't base my champion pool on any of these champions. Same thing, they're very reliant on enemy team picking certain compositions. And I do think that if you want to pick Xayah or Samira or Nilah, it has to always be the third pick. Like if you play, let's say, Jinx, Ashe, and Xayah, for example, like these three, I would personally go for two champion pool. I don't go for three unless you play like 4 hours per day, which maybe you do. Maybe you play more than three is fine. But more than three, it's pretty bad. And less than three, I would say two is like a sweet spot for me. If you play like 2 hours, an hour and a half, 3 hours per day, I think it's really good. But yeah, I do think that these three champions are just counters. Tristana is a very good champion right now. I think I will put her in S tier. I don't believe she's so much better than Kaisa. Okay, she is better than Kaisa. She's better than Kaisa. Tristana is really good right now. She's good to main, and she also low elo, high elo. She can be flexed. I think if you're low elo, learning Tristana is one of the indicators that you can make a play on both. You jump first, you have the impact, you have the responsibility, you have the agency. Why not? Just, you can pick the champ. Yeah, you can pick the champ. I think she's fine. And Corki, I mean, a lot of people flame me last time because of this tier list. They said, "Oh, you're wrong, bro. Corki is not good." But like honestly, I don't know what to say because Corki is such a broken champ. Okay, I understand I play in like a reasonably high elo kind of ish, like high master. I play low grandmaster, whatever. I understand that, but he's just like such a broken champ. It's just hard to think otherwise, right? Like I will show you right now my Smurf, right? This is my Smurf. I mean, it is Diamond 1, so it's still not low elo. But like, every time when I play Corki, he's such a broken... And trust me, I have bad games. And that's every time when I pick this champ, he's just such a broken champ. And I think he's also good for low elo. It's quite simple. I don't think it's hard. Like you guys can see my damage on Corki. It is just insane. I do most damage 90% of the cases, right? So I know I get flamed. I know Corki is bad and he got nerve. And I'm gonna put him in S. I don't give a shit, man, because he's such a broken champ. If you are human and you can play him, you can just use his combos. He's such a strong laning phase. You can pick him with Enchanter, with Engage. I personally think he's just really, really good. Pro players first pick it. Still, they ban it all over the time. I think he's just good. And I think for low elo, like a champion of Tristana, Corki, Jinx, or Tristana, Corki, Ashe is pretty good, or even MF in the pool. Why not? But yeah, I do think that changing your pool is quite bad and toxic if you're like below diamond. I do think that you should. So the way I do it typically, if I play 3 champs, let's say, ideally if you have the time to invest in 3 champs, but let's say you do, I have, let's say, Corki, Ashe, I always play no matter the meta. And the third champ, I always have like a meta champion that I adapt. But my best champs and the champ that I enjoy the most, I just, play always, and of course, it happens that Corki and Ashe are not in a bad spot. But then the third champion is always adaptable. So for me, this meta is Tristana. But it can be Kaisa as well. It can be maybe Jhin. Like, don't change your champion pool too much, because I would say it's a bit iffy. Caitlyn, I mean, honestly, she's not bad. I do think she's maybe like worse than Ezreal, Jhin, and the others, but I do think she's better than Kogmaw. Like, what would you like to have in low elo? Kogmaw first pick or Caitlyn first pick? I do think Caitlyn first pick is better. I think she's fine to main. Caitlyn, Ashe, Jinx, Trist, Corkish, MF, they're just really easy to play. I mean, not easy because Caitlyn is very hard to master, but she teaches you fundamentals because she has a lot of range and you need to win the lane through fundamentals. Lucian, I think Lucian is very good at the moment. I would even put him more better than Kate. I think Lucian in this meta is pretty good, and I think Lucian, Tristana, they are both good. Okay, he's not as good as Trist, but I think it's still worth to play Lucian if you really like this champ. Yeah, I think he's in a fine spot. Like, he can be picked with enchanters for sure because of his passive, but also with engage, so it's fine. Varrus is always stable. I don't know if I should put him better than Lucian, but I would, because if you play on hit or lethality, he says so much flexibility. If you want to pick that is like the best blind pick, I think Varus is such a great pick and good to carry as well. If the draft is bad, you just pick you just pick lethality and you're good to go. Yeah, so it's just a counter really. If they have like, you can pick it into Ezreal and stuff. You have the Windwall, Seraphim, same thing. Swain is like 80 right now. I wouldn't really talk too much about like AP carries because I personally don't play AP. I play AD carry because I enjoy the AD carries. And yeah, in terms of Vayne, I mean, she's not bad. I think that she's in a fine spot, Vayne. I don't think she's in a bad spot. I think if you're like bronze, gold, I mean, honestly, if even maybe even emerald, like I would maybe put her like high B. She's not bad at all. Like, you have a lot of damage. I do think that I would rather pick Vayne first. Okay, don't blind pick and don't first pick. But if you have to and you want to do Vayne, I mean, it hurts, but sure, do it. I would rather have Vayne blind than Kogmaw blind, because at least with Vayne you have the tumble, so you can have like, you have skill expression and you can just gap your enemies if you're like good. Um, so I think the right spot is in B plus. I just don't know if I should put her here, just because if you do this in low elo and you just do Vayne, in the draft, and they just pick Ashe or they pick MF or they pick Varus or they pick Jhin. There are so many champions, Draven, Caitlyn, they're all smashing Vayne early. Even Lucian smashes Vayne early. Even like Jinx, Kalista. Like, imagine if any, like, it's MF with, like a support that is strong. Like, what are you gonna do against this lane? What are you gonna do against this lane? What are you gonna do against this lane? It's such a hard draft. So I guess in high elo she's probably worse, right? But in low elo, I mean, she can, like, if you can get away in the laney phase, I think she's a fine champion. Yeah. If they don't have like supers, like if they have Ezreal and okay, you can scale, you're fine. Even Kaisa is okay. But yeah, most of the champions, Corki smashes Vayne right now in the early game. Like, there's just some matchups that are bad. Twitch, I don't think he's bad. I'm actually curious on his win rate, 50-67. Like, I would not put it in like C tier. I don't think any of the AD carries are in C tier at the moment. I think maybe still B. I don't know if I prefer having Twitch or Vayne. If, like, the only problem with Twitch is the same problem with Vayne. He just gets out pushed and he just gets poked. He gets out range. Because if I play Trist into Twitch, you're dead. If I play Corki into Twitch, you're dead. If I play Caitlyn into Twitch, you're dead. Kaisa Twitch is playable. Draven Twitch is unplayable. Jinx Twitch is pretty hard for Twitch. He gets out range, out pushed. Against Ashe is suffering. Against Jhin is suffering. Ezreal Twitch is fine because you can just scale with Twitch, and Ezreal is just not a very aggressive champ. Lucian Twitch is like, if you pick him in the right draft, I don't think it's a bad champ. It's just, if you're picking it into like a Draven or Corki or Tristana, you're probably just gonna get obliterated. In which case, I wouldn't say the champ is like so good. I don't think the state of Twitch is bad. Yeah, I don't think that, like, I don't think there are many C tier champs, honestly. Like, maybe Zeri. Zeri is quite weak at the moment. I don't think she's really that good. I don't know if I should put her low B tier. It's just, I wouldn't say she's bad because she's playable, but it's just compared to the other picks, right? Riot made it so good that the champions are just very balanced, very, very balanced. It's hard to judge, you know, A tier, B tier. Is like they're very, very close to each other. It's not like back then where if you don't play S tier champs, so many champs are C tier, and it's just the C tier champs are absolutely unplayable. I feel like even the worst champs, they are still playable. They are still, you know, viable in a way. So there is that. Yeah, like look, the number 27 AD carry is Caitlyn with 49% win. 49%. That in my that's very high. Back then, I think years ago, if we check, I don't know if we can check, probably not. I feel like the last AD carry would be like Aphelios with 46% win rate or something. But now it just feels like they somehow made on average AD carries better, which I guess is fine. Speaking of Aphelios, right now I think I mean, he's not bad. I would say that he's with Vayne here. If you really know how to play him, he's not in a bad spot. But I don't think he's good. I don't think he's better than any of the A or S. And I think Senna is pretty useless right now. So don't play Senna. And Kalista is only good for high elo. So I'll put her here because she's still really good in high elo, but she's not as good as she used to be. I would put her here, but now I'll put her low A tier. So that's pretty much it, guys. Be sure to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell to make sure you are getting access to this tier list and special dedicated content. And if you are struggling in solo queue, you want to improve, you want to get better, you want to find out your real mistakes that are holding you back, guys, go ahead to VODs.com, book your coaching session so you can actually improve properly. Thanks so much for watching and see you in the next one.